First and foremost, I want to start this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahara Kakwadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to you, Akim and Akwaf, that believe and have faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in these last days. Basically, I just want to go into this lesson. We just basically one step closer to the MOTB, which we know, according to Revelations 13, 16 through 18, is that mark that will be implemented and be given to and offered to everyone on the planet. And basically, I just want to get into the lesson, just going into that MOTB. This right here video came out of the COP 27, and it's basically telling you an outline of the MOTB that's coming. And I'll just pause it through periodically through the video. It's just a couple minutes long, but sometimes these quick side words they use might go over brothers' heads. So I'm just gonna make it plain. In other words, here we go.
A new AI inventory of global emissions in the spotlight during Finance Day at COP27. This will allow leaders to know the location and scope of emissions being released. Mark Morano of Climate Depot has got a couple of minutes between gluing himself to a pyramid or gluing himself to a pharaoh's sarcophagus. Mark, it is great to see you. They are actually taking it to the next level, right out of your book, The Great Reset, because actually an individual carbon tracker is basically a way of keeping tabs on everything any individual does.
And like you said, the carbon tracker is the MOTB. They want to be able to place wherever you at on the planet, what carbon emission that you are basically implementing. They want to know exactly where you're at. So that tracker, he just said, is the MOTB, the RFID microchip. So they want to implement this, and he's going to go more into detail. I'll play it. I just want to that's the main point I wanted to make that might go over brother's head, but I'll play it and I won't say a word, but that tracker is what he's talking about, that RFID microchip.
Yes, they are, Mark. Keep in mind, we as humans inhale oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide. So we are literally 8 billion carbon dioxide emitters on the planet. Al Gore is doing a big splash. He's calling it the climate trace system, where they're going to monitor 72,000 alleged emitters. And the idea here is to create a Chinese-style social credit system where they're going to shame companies and anyone who has any type of emissions into not doing it. And it's explicitly, according to Al Gore, being designed to help the United Nations enforce CO2 emissions on companies, agriculture, farmers, you name it, across the board. This is one of the most frightening things that come out of this United Nations Climate Summit.
I like the way that it's meant to evoke the COVID track and trace thing, isn't it? The carbon track and trace. Yeah. Presumably because all these, most regular folks, I think, aren't interested in the COVID track and trace, but evidently that was regarded as a great success by these types.
It was. I mean, they looked at what happened in COVID, and now we have the Al Gore's and the United Nations Climate Trace app. You could shorten it to Big Al is watching you. And we saw how they particularly used the climate track and trace in Australia, where if you went into a supermarket and were unwittingly 10 feet from someone, you would end up being in the forced internment camp for 8 or 10 days, whatever it is. This is the most totalitarian thing to come out of this United Nations summit. This is something that we need to roundly condemn. We need to shore up massive global opposition to this because they're bypassing democracy. This is straight out of Klaus Schwab's playbook. We've already seen MasterCard last year join up with the UN to monitor carbon footprints and cut off your spending when you hit your carbon dioxide max.
As you see, he talked in a wide scope, but he was saying that they're going to track. They're going to start with 70,000 people, which they probably been already done it, because basically everything they do, they already have done it, but they bring it to the broad scale of people after it's already been tested. So they're doing a test run on people, and they say it's like it's companies, but they're actually talking about people. And this is clearly what John the Revelator was reporting to us, what was going to come in the last days. And this is near. This is not something far off. 10 years from now, 15 years from now. This is close. First scripture I'm gonna get is what we know already. It's Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And this was at the summit over in Egypt, the COP 27. They also the same form was where they took the Ten Commandments, supposedly took the Ten Commandments, the climate Ten Commandments, to replace the biblical Ten Commandments to Mount Sinai. So these things are happening very quickly. This is not something that's far off. This is can be implemented at the beginning of next year, because these things must come to pass to fulfill prophecy. This is Revelations 13. I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And that beast is the World Economic Forum. This is a beast system they set up worldwide. He said he had power to give Slakia, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that RFID microchip, if you don't take it, you're going to be at the helm of being killed. For not this is the part of worshiping the beast, is taking that RFID microchip, which we know is the mark. It says, verse 16, it says, and he calls it all, and it's everybody on the face of the earth, man. You're not going to be held down. You're not going to be restrained. You're going to be offered this, and if you do not take it, you're going to be at the helm of being killed. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their hand. It's like in their right hand or in their foreheads. So we already know the chip guy. He had somebody to make a chip to put in his hand, but we know how the devil works. He gets people to do things to make it seem cool, but they had gave him a chip more than likely. I mean, I can't say for sure, but he had put the chip in his hand to buy groceries and open his door, which they've been doing for years. Man, they've been doing this since the early 2000s. People already had the chip inside of them, so this is nothing new. But he calls it all, both small, rich and poor. So if you're small, rich, poor, free, in jail, you're gonna receive a mark. Verse 17, he says, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." I mean, and the apostles' elders broke this down several times, but I just wanted to kind of get these scriptures just to land back off the video, because we are clearly at the time of the implementation of the mark of the beast. He says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666." So we at the beast system, man, where this RFID microchip is going to be implemented. This is Revelations 14, and I'm going to jump down to verse 8. It says, "And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, And that's going into that dollar crashing in the whole society as a whole, but it's going into that dollar crashing and stock market crashing. As we know, the crypto, the Bitcoin, that market and stuff is crashing, man. So everything is on the set on the table for the implementation of this mark. It says Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she had made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his hand, mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of power, the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So you're going to be judged if you take that chip, that mark. You're going to be judged by the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And ultimately, this is the Lord's mark on the left-hand side, as the apostles always go into. This is the Lord doing, man. So he knows who's going to take it. He knows who he's going to make take it. So this is something that we have to continue to pray the Lord have mercy on us, the hopeful elect, that we won't take it and we won't be suffer the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua if we did take it. So lock it. So no way you should take it by the implementation of by being put to death, by starving to death. By no means for you to take this mark. No means. So the Lord said you're going to drink the wine of the wrath of the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So so if you take that mark, you're gonna get hit by thermonuclear missiles, man, and also being hit by those chariots, man, that's gonna put out concentrated fire. But it's telling you that if you take that mark, you're gonna suffer the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is gonna be in those nuclear missiles that's gonna be shot across the earth, all across the earth, in all parts of the earth, but mainly Babylon the Great, which is America. So this is what you need to take heed to, man, and get an understanding that this is finna happen. It's not far off. It's not 5 years from now, not 10 years from now. This can happen any day. This can happen in the beginning of next year, the middle of next year, or the end of next year. But it's close. They're licking their chops to implement this thing. This is Revelations verse 16. It says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out your vials of the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua's power upon the earth. So the angels are finna pour the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua upon the earth. And that's, like I said, that's implementing this mark. It says, verse 2, it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and gruesome sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. So the Lord is going to have the angels pour out the wrath of him on you, and you're going to have gruesome sores upon you, man. So we are clearly there as we see the prophecies coming to pass, man. Everything the Lord spoke of in the Bible, which is the Holy Scriptures, has came to pass, and this is one of the final steps of His return, is implementing this mark of the beast. I'm gonna get one last one. This is Revelations 15, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. For in them is filled up the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua." So we know in the Revelation 16, the last angels have to pour out their vials. And this is 15, and they're pouring out the vials. The last plagues of the Lord, which is in them the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So it's two ways. This is going to end up for you. You're gonna either suffer the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, or you're gonna be in those chariots looking down on the destruction of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And only one I want to see is standing on a sea of glass looking down at the destruction of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Because, like I said, it's coming, man. There's no way around it. There's no way nobody can pay the Lord off. There's no way nobody can pray to the Lord and for him to forgive and just go about his business and not do anything. This is written. So it's going to happen. There's no way around it, man. This is the judgment of the Lord, man. The angels are holding back the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua now. But soon, the angels, if not already, they're going to pour their vows out upon earth. It says, verse 3, it says, and they sang, and this is talking about the people that got the victory over the mark. They didn't take it, even if they was put to death for not taking it. Let me read verse 2 again. It says, and I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them which had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of power. So these are the hopeful elect that seen the destruction in a chariot, which the world calls a UFO. They were standing on the sea of glass, looking down at the destruction after they got the victory over the mark, and over his name, and over the beast. So these are the people that were saved, in other words. And this is verse 3, it says, and they sang the song of Moses, the servant of power, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, power almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. So we know that the Lord is going to come back as he left, and that was in the scriptures say it's a cloud, but we know in Psalms 106, I think it's verse 4, that the Lord making his clouds his chariots. So those hopeful elect is going to be in a chariot looking down on the destruction of the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is going to be poured out with those thermonuclear missiles, man. But Lord willing, it was edifying. I just want to put out that a video going into the scriptures as basically being manifest right before our eyes, the time of the mark. So I'm in it there. Lord willing, it was edifying. Shalom.